So it's the 6th of May today, and tomorrow is the 12-hour Formartine railway line ultra run. Just going to try and put some of my thoughts down before I run it and see where we are. Also be quite accountable to some goals that I've got. Never done anything like this before, so a wee bit anxious, a wee bit excited also to see what I can do in the 12 hours. So I just went through my kit check there, and I've got a little video which I'll put in just after this spiel. So starts at 7 o'clock at Mod, and we go from Mod to Achnagat on the old railway line, which is roughly 4.2 to 4.3 miles one direction. Hit the marker there and turn around and go back to Mod, and it's literally between the 2 points for the 12 hours. At hours 10 they'll shorten the loop to a smaller loop so that you're not running as far in the last 2 hours to make sure you get back and all your laps count. So it's the inaugural run. It's been trying to go for the last 3 years. Obviously with COVID in the background hasn't allowed it to go ahead, so this is the first time we've got out onto the course, so it would be good to do. So talking about goals, obviously the processes are more important than the goals themselves, but I have got a couple of targets that I kind of want to hit towards, with the low-lying fruit being I want to try and run the furthest I've ever ran. So I did 50 miles last year, so anything north of 50 is going to be the first goal. The second goal is I'd like to hit 60 miles tomorrow. The third goal, depending on time, depending on body, and depending where I am, is I want to try and hit 100 kilometres, which is about 63-64 miles. My last goal is I kind of want to run or move until the race finishes. So rather than stopping at 8, 9, 10 hours, I want to kind of keep going or keep clocking miles up until the race stops, rather than me pull out, try and keep going for as long as I can. But again, I'm going to be sensible. If the body's not playing ball, then I will listen to that, but I'm there for the long game rather than any short distances. What are the couple of barriers that might come up? I definitely think hydration, nutrition is going to be really, really key, especially nutrition, and it's a bit of the unknown. So taking a bit of the experience from the 50 miler in, I've got a lot more solid and a lot more variety of foods, both savoury and sweet, both thick and quite loose or liquidy type form. So there's pretty much a bit of everything there. Sandwiches, it's a lot easier this time around that I can restock rather than have to carry everything with me. On the 50 miler you had to carry all your food with you, so that was kind of quite a heavy backpack. But this time the mandatory kit is only a foil blanket and also enough fuel to get you from A to B and back again, and also the phone numbers of the race director and the doctor. Kit wise, quite happy enough with my kit, got a lot of it. I'm also going to have the support from my dad, who's going to be manning my aid station and trying to make sure that as the day goes on that I'm not slacking on taking food on board. I've also got my notebook so he can actually write down some of the thoughts that I have at the time. So the day is going to be a bit of a blur, I guess, and lap 1 is going to be completely different to lap 5 or 6. So just going to write down a couple of words so I can probably write in the wee blog or give a wee summary at the end after the race tomorrow. I'm going to try and put some words together at the end of every loop or during some loops, or just try and capture some of the atmosphere for those who are going to race in the future, but also just for myself to really enjoy the moment. And I like with my videos looking back on what I have achieved and pat myself on the back, but also learn for the next experience itself. So yeah, I've got my little notebook which has got my checklist in it. It's got columns for what I'm eating, columns for comments, and also pace and distance, and see where about I am for targeting my goals. If I try and get from Mod to Achnagat and then Achnagat back to Mod, that's all I'm going to focus on at the time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. A wee bit anxious, a wee bit nervous, but yeah, should be good fun. And I will see you later. So this is the kit check before the Formartine railway line 12-hour ultra run tomorrow. So starting off top left hand corner, we've got rain jacket, Adidas Trex, really nice. The only thing is that it's not really breathable. Same with the Nike Trail one. So If it is heavy rain, I'll pop them on, but if it's not raining, then I'm probably going to go for the Brooks jacket, which is a bit more breathable so that I don't sweat too much. Then got the t-shirts, so 2 Metro t-shirts, and my favourite black and white colours, so one from the London Marathon, and this year's Ultra Vest, which is the Nike one. Then got a wee hat just in case it's cooler, and then I've got the socks. One quite long pair of socks, and the other ones are just ankle socks. I have found that having the longer socks is better if the stones keep catching up, so depending on what the terrain's like, I'll try and keep the socks on, and if it's wet, I want to try and make sure I've got spare pairs for keeping dry. Then going up into backpack with mandatory bit of kit, which is a foil blanket and the telephone with the numbers of the race director. Waterproof trousers just in case. First pair of trainers, Hoka Rincon 3s, nice and light, a little bit of cushioning. Next pair of trainers is the Adidas T-Rex Flows, which are the 225 gram ones, nice and light, not huge amount of cushioning, so depending on how the feet feel, they're really my favourite shoes to run in just now, but I might have to adopt some more cushion at some point. And the third pair of shoes is the Nike Invincibles, voted probably the best recovery shoe with the Zoom X foam at the bottom, so that's really quite nice to run in. They're quite nice and soft and nice and loose. Bundle of gloves, so I've got 3 or 4 pairs of gloves. I won't need all that, but I do struggle with my hands sometimes getting really cold. I want to try and avoid that as best as I can. And then come down to just more headwear, the T-Rex headband, and then boxer shorts. Not really sure what I'm going to say about them apart from their pink and flamingos. The Danish Endurance ones are really good, and also I think it's quite nice to change box every so often. We then got the white, which is the arm sleeves, 2 little caps, just for keeping my head protected from sun, and also pretty much always wearing a cap now, and the sunglasses. And then these are my absolute favourites just now, so I've got 2 pairs of the, I think they're Domyas from Decathlon, so they're probably my favourite short just now to wear. I've then got my buffs, so Dementia Revolution, Brewdog, and also Tweed Valley, so just a few of the different buffs I've got there just now, so I'm not presuming I'll need them, but it's better to have more than not. The technology, the phone, which is going to have playlist and also the numbers of race director and doctor. Got a spare battery, charge, got the Garmin Phoenix 6, I've got the Garmin heart rate monitor, which also gives me a lot of feedback on my run dynamics and metrics. Moving up, we've got a big towel, notebook. In the notebook I've got a checklist for every time I come through a checkpoint, and also I've got a lot of space to write down any thoughts after each loop. And also I'm going to try and document down how much food I've taken on and what kind of food I've taken on, and also as the race goes on, do I like the savoury or do I like the sweet, or do I like more solid foods, or do I like liquids there. And at the side here I've got 2 micro towels, so just for sweat removal more than anything else, and if it is raining, to try and keep myself as dry as possible. We then come up into the food. So in the first box here we've got lots of different flapjacks, so there's an almond one, cherry one, chocolate one, and white chocolates. And then we've got butt trays with butter, so lots of high fat content there, quite salty, so I'm presuming I'll probably need that later on. Then got a wee Haribo mix, and then I've got tuna and so I've got cheese and ham in the wraps there. And at the top here I've got cheese, and I've got almond butter with rice cake, so lots of different food to try out there. And at the side here I've got 2 little tuna sandwiches because I'm quite partial to a tuna sandwich. And then we've got pretzels, so sour cream but also salted, chocolate biscuits at the top there, Knoppers. If anyone hasn't heard about Knoppers, they're in Aldi and they're absolutely a godsend. So they're chocolate, wafer, nuts and milk, so yeah, really good there. Got 2 cans of the Lucozade, who are now doing a high caffeine drink, so in case of emergency, break glass and drink the caffeine drinks. We then got a bottle of cold coffee, which I'll probably use throughout the day as well. It's a little bit milky, so I'll probably just take it in little mouthfuls more than anything else. And then we've got 2 250ml, which is going to have tailwind, and I've got the flat Coca-Cola in the big salmon there for later on as well. Salt tablets, and what I found after my last ultra was I really craved fresh mint after eating a lot of rubbish throughout the day and a lot of salty and sugary stuff. So I've got mints here, and also Fisherman's Friends, because they actually blow your nose and your throat open with menthol. So I've got them. I've got a stack of gels as well, but I'm going to try and eat hard food as much as possible. Little bags here for carrying the food between the 2 points, and extra tailwind to put into the bottles, but we've also got the backup bottles here, which separated into caffeine and non-caffeine, and also written down which ones are tailwind and which ones are just water. So I've got 2 water, and I've got 6 tailwinds, which is going to be 3 litres in total. Baby wipes, just to be a wee bit plush and look after yourself when you're out there. First aid kit, lots of Sudocrem, lots of Vaseline, and Tiger Balm. I'm going to keep the Tiger Balm away from the Vaseline. Rehydration tablets, corn, plasters, and Gaviscon there as well, with some nip tape at the top to finish off with. So yeah, that is my kit check for the 12-hour Formartine run tomorrow. So we're on the first out and back of the 12 hours. 4.2 out, 4.3 out, 4.3 back. Lovely day, sun shining, blue skies. We've got a cloud ahead. Going out, thanks to easy pace, and got to turn, came back. So just going to be over an hour for the 10k. So had a little pee stop as well, but underground is good. Ran with some really nice people first of all, met Gary, Jen, Fee. So yeah, so far so good. So we are on loop 2/4 of the Formartine Railway Line 12 hours. Weather's really nice. 2 gels in, running with Jen and Fee. That is great, because Fee doesn't normally get in the camera, so we're privileged. All going well. Highland cows jumping about, lots of lambs in the field, Wemmel's turning around, and Putin's in the hole. Speak soon. So we're on loop 3, which is coming up to a shorter marathon distance. Sun's still out. We just went by Farmer Rumi needs our help, and we're coming up to Tom's Alley, Tom's Alley, and we've also this time put Piers Morgan in the hole, and Fee chose Harry and Meghan. Excellent, all going well, a bit of a breeze, definitely hillier on the way back than it is on the way out, but all in good spirits. Really good chat, having a wonderful time. Jen and Fee. So we are on, just finishing loop 7 or halfway through loop 4, and we've got the fantastic aid station just coming up here. So this is out in Achnagat.
Got me.
So this is the end of loop 5, which brings us up to 42 miles. Whew, it's getting tough now. So every lap from now on in is a new personal best. So the longest distance if I complete the next one, 60 miles, is going to be 1 and a bit loops next. Struggling a wee bit, but hey ho, I'll get there. Whew. So that's the end of loop 6, so that should be 50 odd miles in the bag, so that's the furthest I've ever run, so goal achieved. Go try for one more loop, got 2 hours 40 to get it in and then just loop round about the train station, which is 350 metres, until either death overcomes me or we hit 64 miles. Good job. See you in a bit. At the moment, so that's we're 15 minutes done left of the Formartine 12 hours. Just crunking out the miles now, just walking out. Pretty beat. Got my, well, the watch is 101k, so I'm absolutely, as my face can tell, buzzing. Delighted, absolutely delighted. So yeah, just going to crunch this out for 15 more minutes and then I can stop walking, moving, shifting, stop drinking Lucozade caffeine drink. So yeah, really good event. Small loop's about 350 metres now, and just goes round about the mod station. A little bit of incline, a little bit bumpy, but it's quite nice having everybody there, lots of noise, lots of cheering. So yeah, all really good. And here are the two boys that put it all together, Kev and Gav. Two of the ugliest lads you'll ever see in your life. So thanks to them we had today Formartine 12 hour on the Bucking line. Yeah, almost done. Good job, over and out. So this is my recap on the Formartine 12 hour ultra run that happened yesterday between Maud and Achnagat. So the total distance covered in the 12 hours I managed to get was 63.67 miles, so that's my longest run to date. That was about 102.9 kilometres on my watch, and that is 117,000 steps for the day, so that was really good. Placed 7th overall, and again the time was 12 hours in total. The positives from the day were I felt like the pacing went really well. The first 3.5 hours I was really conservative, chatting, and I got to the point where it was starting to get a wee bit trickier, so I just wanted to kind of knuckle down and get really zoned into quite a consistent pace. And when I looked at the pacing through the whole day, the average pace for the day was 7-minute kilometres, but running pace was about 6:30 to 6:45, so that was really good to do that. I felt that my preparation and food went really well. I had lots of different things, sweet and savoury. So one of the biggest things I learnt was butteries. Even if I couldn't stomach the actual buttery, licking the butter off the buttery was a good little tip to get to there. Rice cakes didn't really work. They went quite soft and then they got quite dry in my mouth. The tailwind was fine, but after about 5-6 hours it starts to leave out quite a chalky taste in your mouth, and it's quite sticky around your mouth, so your mouth always feels like it's quite dry, and it's really hard to take on some of the solid foods then. But I found that Fisherman Friends or Polos worked really well. So I had blackcurrant Fisherman Friends, and that is an absolute must for all future races for myself, because it just seemed to clear my mouth out and just help me take on a lot more solid foods after that. The company was fantastic. So I started off running with people I've never met before. So there's a guy, Gary, and also John, who was second overall at the end. Never met them before, and left feeling really invested in their journey for the day. Again, Andrew, Jamie up at the front end again, just ran fantastic races, and it was great seeing them on the same line about, I think it was maybe about 10 to 15 times as you go past them. So yeah, it was quite nice to see where they were and also have a little bit of confidence from seeing them. My music playlist, I went for the playlist from about maybe 8 hours in. Just felt like I needed something to change, so when I put the music on, that worked really nicely. And the trainers that I really liked on the day were the Adidas T-Rex Flows. The Hokas themselves I started off with for the first 3 laps, but I think they gave me a blister just where the outer over folds over the foam below, and when I went onto the flows after that, they were great. The Invincibles from Nike, they were fine, but I felt that my foot got really hot, and it felt like the shoe was getting quite tight, so I'm not sure if my foot was swelling or not. But then when I went back into the Hokas, I couldn't even walk the length of the platform, so I had to go back into the Trexes, and I managed to get another 16 miles out of them. So yeah, the Adidas T-Rex flows were really fantastic. Slush Puppy, that was a bit of a godsend in the last loop. I managed to get my slushy puppy. I managed to put some of the Lucozade cherry caffeine drink into that as well, so that was fantastic to give me a perk up for the end. Throughout the day I've been drinking cold coffee, which I got from, I think it was Home Bargains, two little cold brews, and they were fantastic, just keeping me ticking over from a caffeine point of view. And the support from my dad and the girls that were supporting Jen and Fee were just fantastic, so big shout out to Karen and Wendy and my dad Gordon. And things for me to work on footwear, I just need to dial that in a little bit more, just to make sure that if I am doing longer distances, to make sure there is no hot spots or any wear patterns. The other thing I did probably find I struggled with was having some liquid solid fuels, like even some soups or some like watery fuel to take on board further down the line, because I really did struggle with any dry food, and even biscuits were a bit of a struggle near the end. Plus I'm a bit of a faff. I was faffing about in transition. I was getting too comfortable in transition, so I need to make it a little bit more slicker. Get in, if I'm changing my shoes, change the shoes. If I'm changing my socks, change the socks. Get the fuel and go, rather than sitting faffing about. Yeah, my mental arithmetic pretty much went, so I kind of like was talking myself out of doing another lap because I thought it was going to be short of the distance I needed. But then once I'd actually worked out what my mental arithmetic would have been, 60.2 miles for the 7th lap, then I kind of thought, oh, I need to kind of push for that. So your thinking's never really clear, so ask the support team round about you if they can do the adding up of the volume of distance you're going. So in summary, overall, enjoyed the route. Quite constant contact with pretty much all the runners, and it's always quite nice just giving a wee nod or a wee smile or a little high five to some of the people that are out there. I learned some new skills. Flat Coke worked really well for me. Also the tool of naming smaller landmarks on the course itself. So for example, Jen Dixon and Fiona Anderson, who I was running with, they had a big hole where they said every time we go by that we'll name somebody else to put in the hole. And with Tom Daly's alley, we had Texmada point, we had lots of different things on the course. So in the latter stages, when you started to see these points come up, you knew how far you roughly were to the end. Fisherman's Friends, probably the man of the match for me for yesterday's run. Just a game changer, and that came at about loop 5-6, and that's probably when I was starting to struggle a wee bit with getting fuel on board, but they made a huge difference. The butt race definitely helped at the start, but once my mouth kind of changed, it was quite nice to have that freshness from the Fisherman Friends. The wipes as well, having a wee wipe in between on my face, so baby wipes, just to take some of the sweat off, but also just to keep you feeling that wee bit fresher when you're heading out. So that's kind of my take homes from that. So yeah, big thanks to Gav Taylor and to Kev Mottram for organising the event. So it was the inaugural event. Well done for persevering over the last 3 years with COVID to get the event on. Thank you very much to all the volunteers as well. So a lot of hard work went into providing a safe environment for us to run in yesterday, and without you guys there wouldn't be races. So thank you very much, and 100k done.